Hey folks, welcome back. Thought I'd jump on here and say hello. Been a little bit. It's been really busy. I am up in my garden. Everything is planted, folks. Everything is planted. Here are my hops. They're doing rather nicely. They're way up top of those tall poles and looking pretty good. Those are the first Maine shoots. They have a name. I don't know what they are. And then they start filling out. So in a couple of weeks, that'll look a whole lot different. You won't be able to see through it whatsoever. So everything has been good here. Everything has been really busy, folks. I'm putting in about 14 hours a day just in my garden, out in the yard, across the road, and it's just been really, really busy. So I had 5 geese hatch, right? And 2 of them went to some friends of mine. So I've got 3 geese left. The Mama Muscovy that is sitting on the nest, they should start hatching next week. Should. So my flock is down. I do not have any chickens, folks. I don't have a single chicken in the yard. Got a big fox issue. Well, correction. I've got that half guinea fowl and half chicken. It's called a gin, right? And the gin it looks just like a guinea fowl, but it acts like a chicken, right? I have the weirdest combination, folks. So I'm looking at my baby geese. So everything is good. I think we're going to have a really good berry season this year. I picked a handful of wild strawberries just in my garden. The blackberries are loaded with blossoms this year. Looks like the blueberries are going to be good. I'll have to beat the bear to them. Speaking of bear, there is a bear up in my garden about 45 minutes ago. Just passing through, but it was a pretty good sized one. I had one out between my deck and the woodshed the other day. I stepped out, I spoke to it. It just looked at me. I spoke again, and it took a couple of steps and just looked at me. So I hollered at it, and it just kind of walked off and went across the road. So in that one, I'm gonna say it was over 200 pounds, over 200 pounds. Now, being that it's spring, a 200-pound bear is a nice bear because they're still skinny from hibernating, so they can put on well over 100 pounds to get back up to where they were when they went to den. So that was a big bear, and the big bear is not scared of me at all. I know there's bigger bear here. I do know that. I do. Been right up close and personal with them, folks, as some of you remember. So I haven't been watching very many videos, folks. I have been right out straight. I planted I don't know, maybe it was this channel or my old channel. I reminded folks that if you see seed in the spice section at your grocery store, like mustard seed, you can buy that and you can plant it. You don't know what variety mustard you're going to get, or the seed that's going to come out of it. You're going to know that it's mustard, right? A variety of mustard, and as far as I know, all mustard is edible. I had a mustard seed container because they come this big, right? This big around for like $4. If you were to buy that many seed in those little tiny packages, it would cost you a fortune. So I just went down to the local store and got another mustard seed container from the spice section and planted them. Some of you remember how I keep my arthritis at bay. I grow a lot of beets for the beet greens and the beets, of course. A lot of kale, a lot of turnip, Swiss chard, carrots, although my carrots aren't doing very well, but they were old seeds, so that's all right. I use the carrot top and the mustard greens, and I dehydrate them in my mesh dehydrator, right? Some of you will remember that. And then I will crush them up, powder them, and put them into little capsules, right? I discovered that because I've got pretty significant arthritis, folks. If I take 3 of those capsules in the morning with a combination of all those dark leafy vegetables, well, greens, and 3 at night, my body goes from being almost crippled. If I sit 5 minutes, I'm toast. It takes me a half hour to limber back up. That's one of the reasons why I don't like to stop. So 3 in the morning, 3 at night, it made my joints, it took the pain right away for the most part. Made my joints feel like I was in my 20s again. So I'm going to continue growing my greens to powder up and capsule. So while I was planting those mustard, because it doesn't matter what kind of mustard seed they are, I just want the greens. And I set the container down, folks, and then I ended up kicking the container. It went right up the aisle. About a third of the jar of mustard seeds went rolling up the row. So I scraped the top ones that weren't contaminated in the dirt, and I just took the rest and I just spread them the whole length of the row, right? Needless to say, I think every single seed sprouted, and I'm waiting for them to get up a little bit so I can thin them out. So that's one way to do it, right? That's quick and easy planting. So just a reminder that you can buy seeds at the grocery store in the spice section and give it a try. You'd be surprised. Like I said, I don't care if those are 4-foot mustard plants or 1-foot mustard plants. I'm after the dark leafy mustard greens. So, and I will collect the seeds. I'll let some go to seed for sure for next year. So anyway, I'm not sure if you can hear the tree frogs or not. The bullfrogs are going off. The peepers are exceptionally quiet. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. That's all right. I don't mind the bullfrogs. I truly thoroughly enjoy listening to tree frogs. That's just the sound that just lull me to sleep, and it does. I fall asleep listening to the tree toads every night. So anyway, I hope you've all been well. I hope you've all been good. A lot going on, folks. And this channel, I don't get into much of that. My old channel, I did. The reason I don't get into much of that is because it could come right back and bite me right in the ass, right? I already got in trouble on Facebook, which I'm trying to get back into Facebook. It doesn't behave for me. I think I've got on there 3 times in the last week, and there's a lot of negativity, folks. I tried to post something and I went against community standards, folks. Been seeing that a lot with other folks. A lot of people really grumbling about the cost of stuff. The political name calling is not called for. That's just my opinion. The name calling, we got to be adults about it, folks. I know I got rid of a few people on Facebook because they were calling the party that I lean toward, calling us stupid, ignorant. We should burn in hell. We don't know. We're a bunch of conspiracy theorists, and yada yada yada. And I read a few of those, and I just started scrolling through them, scrolling by them, and then one day, they were calling basically me. It wasn't just me. It was those who were in my line of thinking, effing morons that need a slow drowning. So there's too much hatred for me. There's too much negativity for me. Posts like that, if I see a post like that, that's just ignorant, I'll just get rid of that person on my Facebook. I don't need to be involved in that hate. I'm not going to be involved in that hate. We need more love. We need more compassion. We need to just, life is hard enough. Life is hard enough, folks. We need to help each other when we can. We need to steadfast. We need to plan ahead. We need to try and grow our own food if at all possible. And if not, rice has gone up, folks. Rice has gone up. A 20 pound of Rico rice was $9 this last winter. Now it's up to, I think I saw almost 14. So that's quite a jump. That's quite a hike. There's also such a thing as parboiled rice. And the parboiled rice is the only rice that is safe to jar up. There's a few videos on canning parboiled rice. You can put the spices in, whatever you want. There is a method that goes with that. If you're interested, you should Google canning parboiled rice and research it to make sure it's safe enough for you. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. So I like rice and butter and salt and pepper, folks. Sometimes I'll throw a few spices in there, but white rice, salt, pepper, butter is a pretty good part of your meal. Brown rice, I like brown rice. It's not my favorite. I don't like the texture of it. Wild rice, I absolutely love wild rice. And Maine is right full of wild rice if you know what to look for. It's not technically a rice, it's a grain, but we call it wild rice. Some of you out in the Minnesota area, you know you're famous for your wild rice, right? So anyway, this is getting long. I just wanted to come on. It's getting dark. The mosquitoes are flying around. I haven't washed up yet, so I still got bug dope on from before. So I just thought I'd come on and say hello. Hope y'all are well. Y'all be good. Be safe. Watch what's going on. Be kind to one another. And we'll get through this one way or the other, folks.